episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi.
And, Nick, how was your week?
I'm here.
Okay, I get that.
It was just one of those weeks where everything is like, whew, I'm tired.
I'm tired
More like
as well.
stress tired. You know, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That feeling, yeah.
I'm not as much stress tired because it wasn't that stressful of a week. It didn't really do anything.
You're
but
just tired.
So this is, since it was like a couple weeks ago, it was Memorial Day. I always we talked about how I always take off for Memorial Day and I go visit for my dad and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I do that, I usually take off a couple days of the week before and a couple days of the week after. So I have 2 weeks of like half weeks or like 2 days or something like that. So this is the first like full week back to 70 hours, which is just a MF all the way. Like, it's not fun.
Yeah.
But we're making it.
Yeah.
We're making it through it.
We're here, and everyone gets to hear our nice voices or see our nice shining faces, and we're here.
Anyway, if you're new here, welcome. We are a podcast about literally whatever we want to talk about. In last week we talked about astrology. Yeah. For 45 minutes, which
I was
didn't
surprised.
expect
I thought that was
to
gonna
do
be a quick one.
This week we're going to talk about video games and the nostalgia of them. So that'll be fun. But first, hold on. Oh, I forgot to get ready. Hold on. Sorry, my bad.
Shout outs. Yeah. Okay, so I have 2.
Okay.
The first is a comment, and the second is to my family that I'll be seeing this weekend, and they'll probably be playing this, so I was going to shut them out. So the first one is to Stevie.
Hey, Steve.
Good old Steve. So she commented on the reel. So remember we did a short or reel that was like, give us topic ideas, and we'll do absolutely the bare minimum and give you like probably one fact about it.
One fact and 25 minutes of BS.
So Stevie commented and said, can I have a fact about Bob Dylan?
Okay.
So Steve, I'm going to do you one better. I have 2 fun facts at the end of this episode. And then I thought maybe that's a good idea to do another like musical inspired episode soon and talk about like some famous artists like him.
Yeah.
So
I never was I know she's not gonna like this, but I know we don't disagree on this. But
Canceled.
I'm not a Dylan fan. I'm just not a
Canceled.
Bob Dylan fan. Yeah, I know I'm terrible. I'm whatever. I'm not a Bob Dylan fan. It's just not.
Everyone has their own cup of tea. I mean, we said this when we talked about Taylor Swift. There are plenty of people who don't like Taylor Swift, but you have to respect the artist for their time and effort and things that they do and their craft. But if it's not your vibe, it's not your vibe.
Yeah, Bob Dylan is talented.
Yes, yeah.
But it's just not. It's not
only when
my
people like
thing.
tear people down for no reason that it's like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, that's not my vibe, then that's not your vibe.
Exactly.
There's plenty of things that aren't my vibe. But.
Yeah.
So Stevie, at the end of the episode, I'll give you 2 facts. And then maybe we'll do an episode sometime soon-ish about different artists.
Different things, yeah. We've done plenty of music episode, but we do love music, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how many concerts have we been to together?
A lot.
We've done... Well, we did REO Speedwagon first, which was like coming out of the pandemic, which was fun. And then we did REO Speedwagon again.
I love my REO Speedwagon.
We did...
I love some old guys dancing around on stage.
Did we do the Eagles first, or did we do the like?
I think the Eagles was the last one that we've been to, right? I think the summer concert was first.
Was it before that? Okay.
And then the Eagles was like in the fall.
Yeah, because that was it was Joan Jett, Poison, Motley Crue, and Def Leppard. That was a long show in the heat.
I remember Stevie loved her life so much that day.
She was not happy at the end of that night.
I have never seen someone so unhappy. Stevie, we love you.
I remember she was mad that we didn't because you guys left with like a song or 2 left to go, and she was mad that we stayed. She's like, they're probably already home, and I'm like, I bet you they're not. We were 5 minutes before
5
us.
cars ahead.
Yeah, you were not that far ahead of us.
Yeah. No, she's so funny.
But we had fun for the most part. Like it's just, it was in the middle of summer. It was like a 6-hour concert. It was just a lot being in the heat like that. But anyway,
so that was my first shout out with Stevie.
Yes.
My second shout out is my lovely family that I'm going to see this weekend because we're doing a girls' weekend plus Sean, my cousin.
Hi, family.
So Aunt Cindy, Aunt Lisa, Kirsten, Sean, baby Wyatt, Christine. Hi.
Heyo.
We love you. Thanks for listening because I know they're probably going to be playing this as we're sitting around at breakfast on Sunday.
That's not going to be weird.
So
I know.
Love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you for listening. I know me and Steve talked about this. She hated it when people played it and had her voice playing in the background.
I don't mind it as much because I've heard my voice so many times now. At first I was the same way. But like I have so many meetings that are on recorded lines and we have to go back and listen. Like I hear my voice a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Do I still make myself cringe a lot of the time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's not so much of the sound of your voice as it is like the things that you say.
Yeah.
And you can do that without listening to yourself back.
I know. Especially on this podcast.
So, like, I mean, I do, it's just the way it is, but, yeah. Okay, well.
Yeah, so those are my shout-outs.
Okay. So, video games.
Yeah.
So,
because you thought of this topic, I think.
Yeah.
So what inspired this?
I don't know.
I know you knew that I liked games too.
So, yeah, I kind of are. So, I don't really do any gaming anymore. And I never was a huge gamer. Never was like a big time gamer. I played them some when I was a kid. And I kind of wonder, like, did you play them as a kid? Did you more recently get into them? Because I know people that get into them as they get older instead of when they were kids. I've kind of gone opposite of that. So okay.
Definitely grew up in a game heavy household. I remember playing the PlayStation when I was very, very little. And honestly, I think it started with PC because we had a lot of like kids computer games that were also like learning games. So like I had technology from when I was little. Now it was like early 2000s technology. So it was like the really janky PC games, but it was still like Nathan and I were always doing something and then playing PlayStation. And then I would say I fell off like high school, college, and then got back into it 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay. So I remember playing like, you say janky 2000s. I remember playing like,
I know.
8-bit Oregon Trail on a floppy disk at school. Like
I was like right after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember playing like, the 8-bit Oregon Trail game on your floppy disk.
I was like the Freddy the Fish PC game that froze every 5 minutes.
Okay.
So like just slightly better than that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's what I started with probably. And like I had a Sega Genesis as a little kid. So one of those old consoles and then an N64 and we had several consoles and
that was going to be my question. What like consoles did you have?
We had a Sega Genesis first, and then we got an N64.
Okay, yeah.
So Nintendo 64, which was a big deal because I mean, that's still kind of a thing now sometimes, but
yeah.
And I played that for years and all the time, and then eventually we got a PlayStation 2. An Xbox 360. We had a Wii at one point.
Yeah. And
I think that's about where I stopped. Like I got out of high school and like kind of moved out, and I have a PlayStation 2 here. Okay. My mom bought me one to take to college when I went to college. I didn't hardly ever play it in college. It might get turned on once every 6 months here in my apartment. Like it doesn't get turned on that much.
Yeah.
And then I did play a couple PC games, but not like the role player or anything like the big,
RPG
like, world like games. My favorite game on the PC was Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Do you have a PC still?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I guess I don't think of a laptop as that. I was thinking like,
Oh, I don't have a desktop, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a desktop anymore. But this can run
your games.
if I want to play one. I have a couple on like Steam that I bought years ago, but I haven't played them in a while, so.
So I remember, I'll start like you did from little and then up to now. So we only had, we had a PC because I remember doing like typing games and stuff like that on there.
Yeah.
But the first like console we had was the PlayStation 1, like the original PlayStation.
Okay.
And then we only had like PlayStations.
Okay.
We just got like each new one, I think. And then we had a Wii. And I think that was like the last like, new console my parents bought both of us. Nathan, throughout high school and college, had his own stuff too. But like as a family and things that I used, that was it. Because I think Nathan like eventually bought something for himself. But and he was really into building computers, like late high school, early college, I think. So he like built himself a computer.
Okay.
I didn't have a PC until Casey, my husband, literally built me one like last year.
Okay.
It's very pretty and it's all pink.
It's got all the lights and everything in it. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
Nice.
Because everything in like my office where I work every day is like very Victorian like type vibe.
That's not surprising.
So then my little tiny corner of his gaming room office, like it's all his like Japanese type stuff and his gaming setup. And I have like a little tiny corner that's just all pink and pretty. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I have now. But I was trying to think of the games we played when I was younger. So like on PC, I remember doing SimCity. There were a lot of random little things like Star Wars Pinball and stuff, and then Roller Coaster Tycoon was a big one.
Played Roller Coaster Tycoon a lot.
I also played a lot of online games.
Okay.
Like they weren't like CDs or anything or whatever. Like Cool Math, they had like the lemonade stand. I did that a lot because I loved business.
Yeah.
Shocker. My Scene and Barbie.
Okay.
So good. Like I don't know if they're still around. I should have looked because like I would play those today.
See,
just like Barbie.com, myscene.com.
I remember when I was young. I mean, we got faster internet as I got older, but like when I was little, we had dial-up, which was. I mean, I explained it to Stevie.
I don't think we ever had dial-up.
It was slow.
If we did, like I was too young to remember because I remember the first time I played a game where you put the CD in, it was like a new computer, so I think my parents might have had that, but I was too little to like actually do anything.
Yeah, I explained it to Stevie one time that you could type in the URL.
Yeah.
Go take a shower, make a sandwich, eat the sandwich,
and then it would get there.
Come back, and it might be at like 75%. It was slower than anything.
You couldn't talk on the phone.
You couldn't talk on the phone when it was running. Yeah. When we got upgraded fancy to DSL, which was like you could have a phone, you could have your phone and your internet at the same time, still going through the phone line, which was fancy. Yeah, and it was faster. It still took like 5 minutes to.
I think that's where I started.
But
because like I'm on I'm a zillennial. Like depending on what research study you look at, I'm either Gen Z or millennial. It's never like I've never truly known. So because I'm like right on the cusp of both of those like eras.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's and then I also played Diner Dash a lot on the computer. And I think my aunt Cindy got me started on that because she played it a lot.
Okay.
So I remember playing that a lot. But then on PlayStation, you would like the 1997 Disney Racing. Bomb music. So good. Like literally I will pop that in. Like if I still had that, I would pop it in just to hear the music. Like I just remember that being so good.
I don't think I ever played that. I think I saw it when I was a kid. Like, I might have had a friend who had it and I played it, but I didn't have a PlayStation, like an original PlayStation, and I don't remember ever having that. I had racing games.
Yeah.
Like,
we had, like, Midnight Club, and we had the wheel.
Yeah. I still have a wheel down there for, like, Gran Turismo and stuff.
Yeah.
But
the biggest games...
we played Mario Kart on the N64, which was fun.
I have that on my list of games that I play now, but on the Switch.
On the Switch, yeah.
But the biggest game, 2 games Nathan and I played growing up that had, like, the biggest impact in my brain besides the music of Disney, because you know I'm a music person, so I remember that. But Spyro, all 3 Spyro games, the Dragon, so good. Nathan and I would literally fight because it's a 1-player game. We would have, like, brawls over who got to play. And, like, if we would have, like, time limits, and if you went, like, 1 minute over the time limit, it was, like, we get along really well.
Yeah.
But that was a fight.
That was a fight. Okay.
And then Simpsons Road Rage.
Okay.
That one
I've
think
seen
had a
that,
2-player. I think, but I don't remember fighting over that one as much. But that was, like, the best. And we never even watched The Simpsons. It was just, like, the game was so good.
Yeah.
So.
I think the one that I remember, the 2 that I remember the most, like, I mean, music again was a thing kind of for me too, because obviously I'm a big music fan. And when I got a PlayStation 2 and, like, other things, Guitar Hero was always something that we played. Guitar Hero and Rock Band.
I played that at friends' houses.
Were, like, always, we play, like, me and friends would always play that game all the time.
I think my mom bought us a lot of games that were, like, on clearance. So we had, like, I think we might have had Guitar Hero, but the one I only remember the most is on Wii. We had 80s karaoke. So
okay, that works.
I remember
too.
playing Guitar Hero and Rock Band a lot at friends' houses, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had so many different versions of it. Like, all the regular ones, and then they had, like, spin-offs. Like, there's, like, an 80s rock one. There's an all Aerosmith one. There's just a bunch of different ones.
I remember them a lot.
I think I still have a bunch of those because they're all for the PlayStation 2, which I still have. Like, have one. And then, but the ones that I still remember more than anything are, there's 3 of them. 2 are for the Nintendo 64 and 1's for the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 is Need for Speed.
Okay.
I think it was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which I loved playing because it's just fun. And then, like, I just like racing car games and stuff like that. It was just fun to me. And then the 2 on the N64 were Super Mario 64 and Zelda, the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, Zelda's good.
I think Zelda's probably even.
I've only played that briefly on Switch, but
yeah,
So, do you play anything nowadays at all?
No, not really. I haven't played a game in probably 6 to 9 months. Like,
really? Today on my lunch break, I played Fallout.
Okay.
So, like, nowadays, so I have Switch and PC now. So on the Switch, we mostly play the Switch when people come over now because I have the one that docks into the TV.
Yep.
But
I think we played it during a thing a while back. Yeah.
During the pandemic, I was on Animal Crossing. Let's see. Skyrim was the biggest one. I think I played Skyrim for like 2 years straight and never played another game, like starting in COVID.
Okay.
The Elder Scrolls franchise in general is amazing. It's even better on the PC. But I started on the Switch, not really knowing what it was.
Yeah.
But it's an even bigger franchise, and so now I have all of them on the PC. So those are super fun. Mario Kart, Mario Party. Like if we have people over, we do that. But the biggest one recently has been Fallout.
Okay.
Love Fallout. I've never owned it because I didn't have a PC before. Until last year, but I would sit for hours and watch Casey play it. Like when we first started dating, we would sit there for hours. Oh, quite a while because there's multiple versions.
Okay.
And like the first one, I think is like a top-down older game.
Okay.
So like they're on 4 or 5 now.
Okay.
The one I have is Fallout 4. I think that was the most recent. I don't know if there's a 5 yet. I don't know. Casey bought it for me. When he built the PC. So he bought like Skyrim and Fallout and stuff for me on there. But I had watched him play it for years because it's like fascinating. So we were going to talk about it anyway because I was going to talk about like pop culture and TV shows and stuff nowadays.
And right now, that's a one that just came out. It looks really interesting to me. I haven't watched it yet.
You have to. It's on Prime.
Yeah.
It's on Prime. If anyone wants to watch it. Fallout on Prime.
Yeah. It looks. The concept of it is interesting.
There's like franchise lore, but there's so many different games. The TV show is its own kind of lore. So each one is like slightly different storylines and things. The Fallout game that I'm playing and that I watched Casey play forever, so that's the one I know best. And they're all very similar. But it's set on the East Coast.
Okay.
So like the TV show is set on the West Coast.
Okay.
But the one I'm playing right now, it's like you wake up after the nuclear explosion. Yeah. You had to like run to this vault with your family, and then you wake up and you have to like find your family. It's a whole big thing, but the whole premise is that it's set in like this nuclear wasteland where you have to build different settlements, you have to fight off different raiders and these like mutated animals and things. It was kind of okay, so I get stressed out about everything. I had nightmares for probably 2 months straight playing the game, but it's so addictive I couldn't stop playing.
Okay.
Yeah. I still have the occasional nightmare, like if I do like a quest that's like really
intense.
Yes.
Okay.
For the most part, it's really fun. I also kind of treat it like Sims sometimes because you can build settlements and stuff. So I will sit there for hours just like building a settlement.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But the TV show is really, really good too. I'm not gonna say any of the plot. It follows the general premise of the nuclear explosions and everything, and after and she's coming out of the vault and stuff. But I won't say anything more because it's like brand new.
Yeah.
But it's worth a watch.
Yeah, I plan to watch it. I just have to get like the actual time to sit down and do it.
Yeah. The music also like in the TV show too, but mostly in the games. I mean, it's just like it slaps. It's so good because in Fallout 4 at least it's basically like you're stuck in the 50s because that's when the bombs dropped. And so everything is just it's just such a vibe. I love it so much. Like you could be wandering around like the desert, like fighting these animals, but you can have like, you've got the Pit Boy, which is the thing on the wrist, and it shows you your quests and stuff, but it also plays music. So you can just be like vibing, and, like fighting things, but you're like vibing to 50s music. It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
I know it doesn't make any sense to you.
No, well, I mean, it kind of does. Like, do you get to pick the music, or is it just all like
a radio?
It's like a
radio. So you
like
the Pit Boy can tune into different channels.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the things that I did like about when we had an Xbox 360 was kind of along the same lines. We had one with an extended hard drive on it. So I could actually like load my music collection into it.
Oh, really?
And then play my music as the game audio.
Oh,
instead of having like whatever the game was. So like, especially when you're doing like a driving game, it's just like this is your radio almost. Like it's just
that's cool. Kind of like how you can change the radio stations in what is it? Forza? Yeah, Forza. Yeah.
So just kind of something like that. But that's fun.
That's cool.
Fallout looks like a fun. It looks like a fun world type thing, and I want to watch the show. I don't know that I'll ever I'm not again that into video games or gaming anymore, so I probably don't know. I don't know that I'll ever.
The show is worth a watch. You just gotta watch the show.
And that's just the most recent one. Like the
there's so many shows based on games, shows and movies.
It goes back a ways. Like you've got we talked about before. Like you've got Star Wars games, which is based on one of the, arguably one of the biggest franchises there is. And then you've got like a Lego version
crossovers
of it too.
Of everything.
Yeah, Lego Indiana Jones and Lego Star Wars and just Lego and then
there's like The Witcher, Halo. I don't know how well Halo did as a show. The Witcher did really well. It is doing really well.
Yeah.
Kind of. I haven't watched it, but I know people are upset nowadays. But because the main guy left, and they recast the actor.
That never works.
I don't watch it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
And then I don't think the Halo show did as well. But there's just so many shows, and I like that it brings it brings the games to life, like in a new way. Even if it's not exactly the same storyline, like in Fallout, it's the same premise.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool. And then it reaches a wider audience, but it's so fun for the people who were already the audience, you know?
Yeah. What was the one that came out the show that came out last year? Was it last year or the year before that was based on a video game? I can't. It was like a horror. It's like a zombie apocalypse type thing.
I don't know. They did like a Five Nights at Freddy's.
Think this. They did.
Like
they
animatronics.
They did that movie, but this was like a television show, and I can't. I feel like an idiot. Somebody's probably yelling at me. Out of the three people that listen, somebody's probably yelling at me right now and saying.
Probably yell at us all the time. We say some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like it's gonna bother me now because it was like one of the zombies are called like clickers that make like a clicking noise or whatever. I
have no idea what you're talking about.
Why can't I think of what this
I think
is?
The only other thing I wrote down about like TV shows and games that have become TV shows is I love the Easter eggs. Like usually the producers or directors, whoever does like the plot and stuff, they will include like Easter eggs that like the diehard fans will get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I like that. I wouldn't notice it for games that I haven't played, but things like Fallout, it's like, oh, I know what that is.
Last of Us.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Never seen it or played it, but now I know.
I haven't either, but I remember it was a big thing last year, or the year before, or whatever it was. So, yeah. And I mean, I'm just got some of them pulled up here. Like we've got Halo, we've got Sonic, which is they've made several movies at. There's a bunch of Castlevania movies and things.
Castlevania, yes, that was going to be on my list. Casey loves that.
I remember playing that game on like the Sega Genesis and stuff. So
yeah, I never played the game, but the show is good.
I mean, there's like 15,000 Resident Evil movies that are all that are all based on the video game.
I love you know what? I didn't even think to include this in my notes for today. I love watching YouTubers do playthroughs of like intense games or just stupid games. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you watch any like gaming YouTubers. I love watching Markiplier, Soup, Charborg. Like there's some funny games out there too that are just like so random, but then also like Markiplier will do like Resident Evil and stuff, and I've never played those games before, and I'm too cheap to buy a lot of these things. I wait for Casey to buy them for me and just put them on my computer and tell me to start.
Okay.
So I like watching those. I really do. I never touched YouTube at all, like before the last couple of years, and now it's like constantly we're watching.
Yeah, something. I don't know what happened either, because I didn't ever used to really do anything on YouTube, watch random things on YouTube and stuff. Yeah. But the last couple of years, YouTube I think is the number one like thing that I watch over like
which is
Amazon
so weird to me.
Prime or anything. It's like YouTube is the number one thing that I watch. But it's I don't. There's a few channels that I am subscribed to that every once in a while either they do like a video game episode or they used to or something. Yeah. And it's never really piqued my interest. I usually just get bored watching them because I'm like, this isn't, I
think also like, I don't know, there's something about, so a lot of these games are like intense and scary by my standards, which are super low because I get scared at everything and anxious at everything. So like watching someone else play gives me the same thrill of playing sometimes, but like I rarely get scared. Yeah. But it's funny to watch other people get scared. So like Resident Evil, I'd be terrified to play.
Yeah, I've heard it's extremely terrifying.
Yeah, but like watching Markiplier play it, I was like, he got scared of that. It was stupid. But really, I would probably be like on the floor.
Yeah, I had a friend who like loved playing Resident Evil. He's like, it's the scare, like one of the scariest things that you can do, and he's like, it's just it messes with you. I also had a friend years ago, whenever they first started coming out with the like VR headsets.
I have not.
He was a big gamer, and he's like, man, because we would sit, like, me and him sometimes would sit and watch like gameplay of videos. I never watched like people playing it, but we would watch like the gameplay of it. So you don't hear anybody, you just see what the like is on the screen. And he was big into horror games, like scary games. And he's like, man, the headset makes it even worse because he's like, if you're looking at a TV, you can just like, oh, something scary. Okay, you look away, you close your eyes, whatever.
Realize
like, if you're got the headset on, it's like you got the earmuffs and everything. You turn, it's still there, like it's still all there. Yeah, he's like, you can't get away.
Yeah. I would just like simply pass away. I don't think I could do it.
I can't imagine playing like Resident Evil or something with a VR
I have
headset.
nightmares of Fallout, and most people would not consider Fallout even remotely scary.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
excuse me.
It's good. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I've gotta watch that. That's something that's on my list of things to get to.
It's very good.
Which isn't a super long list. It's just finding the time to do it.
Yeah. But it's worth it. It's on Prime.
Yeah. Was there any other like things that you thought of with video games?
Really?
Not really? Okay. Well, I think that's a good time for us to transition then. Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, Stevie, these are for you. Love you, Steve. So I've got 2 facts for you. So the first one, Bob Dylan began drawing and painting in the 1960s. Dylan's sculpted work is mostly iron-based and is a nod to his upbringing in a mining town in Minnesota.
Didn't know he was from Minnesota? Didn't know he did art besides music.
That's why I chose it, because I thought it was a very interesting one.
Okay.
And then the second, so this is a nod to Stevie. In the even though this fact is already for her, I also referenced her in the, anyways. In the 1980s, Stevie Nicks offered to accompany Tom Petty when he went on tour with Bob Dylan in Australia.
Okay.
She was there for moral support, did not, intend to get up on stage at all or perform. It was just like a tag-along type of thing. But Bob Dylan invited her on stage, and she was surprised. But obviously you said yes, and she went on stage, and they sang a couple good songs. But then afterwards, the Australian authorities reprimanded her because she had a tourist visa, not a work visa. So they basically threatened her that if she did that again, she wouldn't be allowed back in Australia.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was really interesting, all because Bob Dylan asked her to be on stage, and you can't say no.
Well, I mean, can't we just chalk it up as like karaoke or something? Karaoke with Bob Dylan, I mean,
I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah,
You're welcome, Steve. There's your 2 facts about Bob Dylan.
It's okay. So I looked up a list of a few facts for video games, just because. So these are all video game ones, and then I've got one that I actually piqued my interest that doesn't have to do with this. That's really interesting. But so this is from funfactco.com.
Great. Okay. That means it's true.
Yeah. So it's got a few different ones here. What is this? The first video game was tennis. It says the first video game was Tennis for Two, not Pong, which I didn't know that. It says that Mario was originally supposed to be a carpenter and not a plumber, which is kind of interesting. I didn't even know.
That's how little I really truly know about.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The E.T. video game was so bad unsold copies were buried in a landfill. That's kind of funny. It says that Mortal Kombat is what led to the creation of the ESRB, like the rating system too, which is interesting.
Really?
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, Mortal Kombat is back in the day was kicking and fighting, and you'd see blood splatter and things like that. So
that's true.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And the longest gaming session led to a man's death. World of Warcraft for 24 hours straight ended up dead from a blood clot from sitting too long.
Oh God, no! I'm gonna be so paranoid and have to stand up every 5 seconds while playing.
So yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the actual fun fact that I'm more proud of that I saw.
Yeah.
I believe. Double check this because I want to make sure I credit this right. This was
check with Wikipedia.
This is a YouTuber that I saw.
Oh, okay.
And he's one of the ones that I subscribe to, and I just want to make sure that it is him. Okay, so YouTuber kind of science based YouTuber Steve Mold.
Okay.
He does a lot of random things, and he does a lot of like explainers on stuff and like interesting science experiments and things, but he does it in a way where he can show you, like he took a gas pump, cut it in half so he could show you how it actually works and like how things work. Mm-hmm. So he makes different things and then shows you how they work. But
gotcha.
So everybody knows that when you're doing time, it's seconds, minutes, hours, days, whatever.
Yeah.
But I never, and he talked about this, I didn't understand why it was called a second. Because a second it's the time, and it's also the number 2, like second place or whatever. So apparently, a minute, the name for a minute comes from a Latin term, which is when you're dividing an hour. It's like something to do with how you divide it into. It's like a piece, basically. Okay. It's like, it means kind of like piece, partly. Okay. From what I understand. And the reason it's called second is because it's the second time you're dividing that, the second time you're breaking down that time. Does that make sense?
60 times.
So like if you're in an hour and you break it down to minutes, that's 1. And that's the section of an hour, which is where you get the word minute. Yeah. But second is another breakdown of the minute.
It's the next level down.
Yeah. So it means second, as in the second time you're breaking it down. Wow. Yeah, it's boring. Thanks. Hold on. Hold on.
I'm sorry, Kev.
I was so interested in that fact.
No, it was good.
I probably didn't explain it very well either.
No, I just, in my head, I was like, oh, okay, you're breaking it down 60 times. I don't know.
You can hear the crickets, right? Yeah.
It's a really good fun fact.
No, it's
Next time you can give me crickets on one of my fun facts. That's my bad.
No, it's probably going to be boring to most people. It's fine. It's fine.
No, I got it, though. I just had to think about it. Because you said break it down from minutes, and it's like a second breakdown.
Yeah, because you're not breaking. It's not like breaking it down 2 different things. It's the fact that it's one breakdown in 2 minutes, the next level down. And then one breakdown into seconds.
Yeah.
He explained this in a YouTube short, so less than 60 seconds.
Wow.
And he's much better at communicating it than I am because he knows what he's doing, and we don't. So,
I'm also just extremely mentally exhausted.
That too. But he's a good watch. Steve Mold is a
yeah, that is interesting though. What other videos does he do? He said the gas thing, and
he did like one where he cut apart a gas pump and showed you like how it works to where it like cuts off automatically and things like that. He did one. He's done one with like flowing water and like how it heats up and how it flows and like doing like he creates different like items so that you can see actually how stuff works. Like the Assassin's Teapot. Do you know what an Assassin's Teapot is? No. So the Assassin's Teapot is.
Sometimes you say words. I feel like my brain feels like how I'm probably looking at you. Like it just goes blank for a second.
Okay.
And that's not you. It's me.
That's what people always say to make the other person feel better.
No, because Assassin's Teapot sounds cool, but you say it, and I'm just like, you know that meme that's just like, huh?
I don't, because I'm not a meme person, but sure.
I'm sorry. No, it truly is not you. It's me. I'm just like, what?
So...
Okay, what is Assassin's?
He explains the Assassin's Teapot.
Yeah.
In one of them and how it works. Which the Assassin's Teapot is an ancient idea of how to kill people.
Okay.
It is a teapot.
Yeah.
But it's got two chambers, one that you could put poison in and one that would have regular stuff. So you can pour both of them out of the same thing and not make people suspect that it's bad.
See, when you say that, that's really interesting. It's my brain that at first I'm like,
yeah. And what he does is he'll make
cool.
like a see-through 2D version of it so he can show you like this is how it works.
I like that because I always want to know how things work.
So that's what almost all his videos are, and they're all like 5 to 12 minutes long, so they're relatively short.
There's one YouTuber we watch, he's British, and he's building like an underground bunker and cave system. Like under his like normal townhome. That's
a problem in Britain.
Is it?
It's a problem in London, I guess.
Is it really?
Yes. So they can't build out. Mm-hmm. So they're all building down. Like a lot of like really rich people build down, like into these massive
this is
like
just a normal guy
basement things.
Yeah.
And like $1 million townhomes are building down, and it's causing problems with like flooding and foundation issues because they can't like it's not really made to do that.
Yeah. Well, and I know in places like this is super on a tangent, but
we're already on a tangent, so
Rome, they can't build down in a lot of places. Like they can't build a subway in some places and have like a better transportation system because it's like ancient history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so they literally can't do anything because they're like, oh, here's a graveyard.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a temple. Oh, here's another graveyard.
Because they just keep finding things. Yeah.
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 Which is just wild. But
yeah, that is crazy. That would be interesting. Like, oh, here, let's build a subway. Okay. Oh, stop, guys. We found a graveyard.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So we've got 1/4 of a mile of a subway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just stop randomly.
Or a kilometer.
Yeah, because nobody else uses miles. We're a weird country.
Yeah.
And we still use the
This is a weird podcast, too.
Yeah. Well, it's always a weird podcast. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. What?
It was a really good episode.
Okay. Yeah. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what else you want us to talk about. We've got some fun stuff planned in a couple weeks. We're going to go on a little trip, so that'll be fun. Yeah, so, yeah, like, subscribe, comment, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.